All right. So how was your little break and your visualization? Did you enjoy that? What did you get? What did you notice? What's present for you now? I'd love to just hear what are you noticing about where you are in this moment? Kim, yeah.
So what I notice is it brought me great joy to think about. Um, yeah, it wasn't a scary thing. It was fun to envision calling them in. I mean, that process is already happening, but as I kind of leaned into it more and fleshed out some of that detail in in the visualization process, the feeling I got was just this, there was a lot of joy. I mean, that was the overarching feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that it was so funny, Jan, because what came in, I've said this, but it came in really strongly, is I like deep, I don't like snorkeler, like I love deep sea divers, not snorkelers in life. So I can play with snorkelers in like kind of one level of my life, but when I'm really doing my work and the people I want, my soul tribe and the ones I really connect with, it's one that are deep divers. They're passionate and purposeful. So there was just this feeling of gratitude from them of like, wow. And it wasn't about, oh, that's you. It was like, wow, through this, I'm opening to so many possibilities in my life, because that's what I feel like I'm here to do, is really help people tap into the possibilities in front of them, and that they can't maybe quite see for themselves. So anyway, it was a joyful process for me, and I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Beautiful. Nice. So what did you notice that through that visualization of calling in that maybe some of the previous, um, concerns, bully voices kind of just melt away when you get into that space? That's what I noticed.
Definitely.
It's not as like, ooh, so scary, or like increase my visibility. I'm gonna call in 1,000 people, oh, that's scary. But, just in a divine connected way, it happens so organically that it's not like, 1,000 people are gonna show up at your front door in just 5 seconds. Um,
Well,
all
I loved
wanting
it, Jan, because when Karen shared earlier, it's a concern that has arisen for me. Because when I start tapping, like I'm actively tapping, a lot starts happening.
Mhm,
I tend to be a fairly quick manifester, and
mhm,
I'm at a point in my life with my husband where we want to enjoy um, space and time. We've done the both creating businesses, and we're now entering a period of we want to do more traveling. Our kids are grown. And so it's like I've really, and I notice I get mental about it, like, oh, how do I do this? It feels like this or this. And now I'm in the question is how do I this and this? And
mhm,
that I can call that in and kind of, finding the strategic partners who can
mhm,
really help me write the script that is authentic to myself. Because that, when Karen was talking, it's like, oh, and my husband's kind of like, yeah, I totally support you. And you tend to get busy when you start pushing, putting those things out, because I know you. And so anyway, this took kind of what would I say? It softened that to be like, oh, yes. And it was a feeling like there's a tribe waiting for me patiently for
mhm.
that to come when, yeah. So that's what I noticed is like, oh, I play in that space, but the minute I start mentalizing around, oh, what's that going to mean? And then I'm on my computer to that. Yeah, I can do it from anywhere, but I'm going to be kind of a little overloaded maybe from what I'm choosing right now at this season of my life. So anyway, that's good. I
Love
have to
it.
play.
Love it.
I have to play with the creative tension edges of those two.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Beautiful. Karen.
I played with calling in people for a free preview webinar that I'm doing on Monday. And it was so easy because that's a container that's made for that. Right.
Right.
And so looking at that, and like, that container has infinite capacity. All the people that match my whole list. And I also did end up adding a couple things to the list, and one of them was joyful. Right. Like, I don't want to deal with happy people. There's been enough negativity this year, or at least possibility people. But yeah, knowing that it was for a specific container allowed me to like relax the constraints and say, anybody that matches this can come here. The ones that self-select into the challenge that this gal has lined up, great, right? And it's not inviting them onto my phone.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, I like the happy people. I recently got a dog. I've been a cat person, and I have expanded my possibilities to now I am now a obnoxious dog mom. And so I added to my attraction plan, I'm calling in dog people. I think dog people are happy people. And one of the happiest places I like to go is the dog park. You know, that was my survival strategy throughout COVID. Go to the dog park. And I still go there. Makes me happy. And I like happy people too. So I found a picture I wanted to share with you earlier. Let's see.
While you're pulling that up, Karen, our dear friend Karen Strauss, takes her dog to the dog park and befriended a guy who, during her breast cancer during chemo, offered to walk her dog every day. She didn't know that he was an Oscar award-winning writer, very famous, well-known person, and they were just friends from the dog park.
Wow. Yeah, so put it on your plan. Meet people at the dog park. I just, this wasn't the picture. This is a picture I was wanting to show you earlier. And just, you know, in calling in your tribe, I look at the faces, like particularly this one woman who's smiling so bigly on the far left. I love the faces. They look like people that are happy and fulfilled, and that they feel good about themselves for, you know, what they're up to. That's how they occur. And I love that they're such a close-knit community and that they have a common interest of beekeeping. I want to share that with you. All right, so anybody else want to share what you're getting from it? Lena?
So it was interesting because when we were doing the process, I just completely went to blank and was just very relaxed, but didn't see anything, didn't hear anything, got nothing. And I'm like, okay, cool, clean slate. And then when we went to break, I had gotten a text in the meanwhile from one of my brothers. And so I looked at the text to read it, and it was a message from one of our cousins in Greece and some family stuff that's been going on.
Oh.
Some legal stuff that needs to be taken care of. And in there, I guess there's some document I need to get to the lawyer that I didn't know I needed to get to the lawyer. And so I wrote back to my brother, I'm like, give me a break, push your little sister for something I didn't even know that I had to do. And then I realized, I'm like, oh yes, blank slate, must take out the trash. No more of this. And I could just see myself carting off, like piling all this stuff into just no longer fits and pulling it over to the dumpster and just dumping it. Yeah.
It's better than dumping it on your head.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trash masters. I love that.
And I love that Sana and Chu are at the same beach.
That's awesome. Yes.
Y'all must do dinner later.
I found it's giving, just a little tip for you. I mean, it's like almost 11 o'clock at night here, and it's been such a long day, but this background is giving me so much energy, aside from all of you.
Your bikini is cute too. All right. I know it's late and you're staying up, so let me share the next piece. All right, so we've been calling in the soul tribe, right? So you can continue to expand that. And I wanted to share, I just had to give a little bit of shout out for Alan Davidson. And I said in the emails that some things have really changed since the first B camp, which has been about a month ago. And one of them that changed is on Easter Sunday, April 8th, I think. Alan Davidson, who was self-proclaimed as the midwife of sacred synchronicity. He's the man that met with me, or I met with him in May of 2017, where we birthed or midwifed the sacred synchronicity idea. And he's been holding point on this concept for me, waiting for me to move ahead. And he was exploring. I know he loves to research. And he was really researching synchronicity with Carl Jung and those kind of authorities that have written a lot about it. But what's beautiful about Alan and so many things is that I see his face now, and I see the depth now that I might not have seen before. I might have just seen the personality. He was a big personality. He's 6'4", big guy, and he used to go by Big Al. We call him that lovingly. And but he was just really extraordinary in helping so many people to expand, as he called it, beyond the beyond. So. Love you, Al. Shout out to you today. Well, one of the last things he posted, he and I did a call for the Badass Mystic Tribe on Sacred Synchronicity, and that was a gift for me. And I had asked him if he and I could get together. I'm always trying to pull more information out of him. You know, what do you know? What do you get? What are your thoughts? You know, I wanted to just pick his brain. And he said, well, why don't we get on one of the class calls for the Badass Mystics? And we did that 1 week before he passed away. And in his Facebook group post, this is what he wrote. And so he said, when we set a soul goal into motion for manifestation, sacred synchronicity is the cosmic intelligence that guides us to the realization of that goal. Sacred synchronicity guides us to help course correct our choices, rituals, and habits. And so I wanted to talk about that next and just open it up a little bit for sharing, because this is a large thing. But I had asked in some of the emails, I don't know if you got a chance to do that what is your soul goal? Have you had a chance to reflect on that? And what is a soul goal? And how is that different from a regular goal? And so I just want to open the conversation up a little bit to soul goals. And I feel that a soul goal is something that's going to feel good to my heart and soul. I think a soul goal is something that is bigger, you know, like a bigger vision of who I can be. And anyway, I love Oh, I love Alan. Keep shining the light of your soul, which is brighter than 10,000 suns. Yes. So what do you think a soul goal is? Or maybe you already have one and would be willing to share. Anybody want to be brave and throw that out for us to chat about?
Okay, I can say something that I think that for me, my sole goal is going in the direction of helping people to realize that they are one drop of source of the divinity, but at a global level. So I see a lot of people from different backgrounds from all over the world, like we are today. And I know that the oil and gas tribe is in there, the sustainability leaders are in there. So I don't know exactly how they mix, but I've been talking for a long time about mindset. And I really think that I need to upgrade to a spirituality, because mindset is not enough. So this is how this is evolving for me.
Wow. Big
Yeah.
one. Big one.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? What's your soul goal, or has one been showing up for you lately? You want to test drive it on the call a little bit and speak it out loud? Chu?
I definitely feel aligned with Marina because of my background and how I was brought up. The importance was placed on the left brain, right? You know, smart, intelligent, blah, 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 all that. And I realized that my biggest breakthrough was when I allowed myself to really ponder when people talk about body, mind, soul, you know, that whole connection is to say, what does that really mean when we say it? When we say it, and once I allow my heart to open and connect between explore the body, mind, soul piece, that's how I found, you know, like the angel supported when the students ready, suddenly Ellen showed up and Rhonda showed up, all these soul people.
Soulful people.
Right. Yeah.
I wonder why they showed up.
It's pretty wild. I mean, how they showed
It was just a fluke, right?
Yeah. That's what the synchronicity is. That's why I love when that happens, and I keep celebrating that. And that pivoted my whole business and how I invite my soul. I now call my soul people who are here for me to guide them. That's it always comes first. Okay, let's first take a pause to just connect with that mind, soul, you know, and then it's amazing then what shows up, the magic shows up, the synchronicity and all these things that you're talking about. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so here's your writing on that. You can reflect. I'm just going to share this. So just remember, sacred synchronicity is the cosmic intelligence that guides us to the realization of that goal. So I think what Ellen is saying here is that when we start to attract, when we start to call in and things start to show up around us, our soul goal is manifesting, it's happening. And that all of a sudden, like maybe what Marima is experiencing, or I could say about what she shared, that mindset is not enough, that your sacred synchronicity is guiding you to course correct. Something like for me, you know, law of attraction, I'm starting to course correct that law of attraction wasn't enough, that it was, we have to call in the right people, the soul tribe. And so those are just kind of some of what I'm seeing. So I want you to write down, on that. Here's your slide. What is your soul goal? So that would be the first thing to write down, is your soul goal. And you can write these questions down. You may not get them all answered today in this brief moment that we have. But I would like you to start to contemplate what is your soul goal if you haven't. And maybe that is an inquiry you want to be in. So I want you to write these questions down. So it's basically a who, what, when, and where kind of a question. When is it happening? What does your life look like when you're living a soul goal? Who is in your tribe? I mean, you could start to play with, you know, Alan Davidson had a beautiful share. When I was giving in-person retreats here in Santa Fe, Alan came to one of them, and we always have a debrief call after the retreat, you know, like the following week probably. And he came to the call and he said that he had written down a goal, you could call it a soul goal, that he would meet Marianne Williamson. Alan was a journalist by training, I believe, and he liked to interview people. He was very good at it. And so he would think of who he wanted to interview and he would make a soul goal. So he shared at this debriefing after our retreat that he had written this goal before the retreat. And when he went home, he stepped onto the airplane, and there in the very first row and the very first seat on the aisle, guess who's sitting there? It's Marianne Williamson. Long story short, he got the interview he wanted. She had received a copy of his book. So this is kind of an example of what it might look like. So who is in your tribe? Who are you calling in? You could start to call in Marianne Williamson. You can put all the people in there that you think that you'd really like to connect with that would make a difference for you. I put on mine the Mind Valley guy, Vishen Lakini. I'm calling him in because I believe he wants to know about sacred synchronicity. So write these questions down. Who's in your tribe? Where are you? And who are you now?
And when he sat next to Marianne Williamson, she had already read parts of his book and was familiar with it. I can see Vishen doing the same when he sees you. Oh, I know. Attracting perfect customers.
Isn't it perfect that Vishen Lakini wants to do a special, one of his special things on sacred synchronicity?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. You heard it here first.
Well, yep.
All right. So who wants to share? What do you tell us about what you've written? What are you noticing? What's coming true for you? What's becoming possible? What do you got on your plan here? Do you want to meet Marianne Williamson? Do you want a podcast? Do you want a master class?
I want to meet the CEO of V.I.P. Bernard, the CEO of V.I.P, British
Oh,
Petroleum.
V.P. Okay.
Yeah,
I just heard
V.P.
P.P.
No, P.P. No, not
Okay.
P.P.
V.P.
It's yeah, it's an English guy, Bernard.
Okay.
Bernard Looney.
All right. All right. Cool. You calling him in? Come on in, VP guy. Yeah, Martina.
Well, it's not officially announced yet, but my son and his fiance are having a baby. The wedding has been postponed over a year and it's in Australia. So my sole goal is that I will be able to travel without any restrictions. So I'm putting, I will be able to travel freely. I do have a get out of jail card, but I still have to go into quarantine if I leave now. So I have an exemption because he's living there, so I can prove that he's my son and use his birth certificate. But the borders are still shut. So my soul goal and the energy, and I'm looking for collective consciousness here to resonate that out. Borders will be open. So I
Yes,
can
let's
go
call
to
that
a
in.
wedding and see a grandbaby.
A wedding and a baby. Oh my gosh, how
All
exciting.
in one go.
Yeah, you got to do that in one trip.
Right, because at
Even
the
better.
moment it's 2 weeks quarantine. I'm like, ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
You will have a free corridor with your vaccine. You will be vaccinated. You have a free corridor.
A free quarter of everything, just free pass.
Yep.
I love it. And why will that, well, I could make up what that would do for your soul, but what do you think the soul goal is for you? How do you see it?
I mean, by getting there or other than
No, I
that?
mean that being there is the goal is to be there.
Right. Well, to actually experience seeing my son and my other son, well, both of them together. So to be reunited. We haven't seen each other in a few years. So, you know, connecting with your children again, and then also to seeing him like a real adult, doing adulting.
Uh-huh.
So just being there, and as only if asked, as a guide, as they process into this new life together. So I'm anticipating probably being there a while.
Okay. Have you ever been
Yeah.
a grandmother before?
No.
Okay, there's another soul goal in the
So
making.
another soul goal would be to find my granny name. I said, Marty, just call me Marty. Oh my gosh.
I let my daughter, I told her I wanted to be called Granny because my granny, you know, was so dear to me. And she says, okay, I'll get back to you on that.
You have to
She
watch
says,
the video
you
of
are
it.
not a granny. You are
No,
a
you're not.
Grammy. You're a Grammy. I went, okay, I like a Grammy. Yeah, I like a
Yeah.
Grammy. I'm
There's a
very
video on
proudly
this
a
as well. YouTube video on choosing your grandmother's name.
yeah.
But I just went, well, whatever he, she wants to call me, I'm good with that.
Well, I feel some big soul goals, and
Mm.
I think that each of us has something that is right in front of us, right in front of you, and it's daunting. Anybody want to voice it? Something
I'm
that's
kind of like, how shall I say, in the past, like I was trekking in the Himalayas and I got the download that my next step was to have a retreat center in the mountains. And then my life kind of sort of led me to the constellation of people and circumstances to realize that dream, which we did for 14 years. But it wasn't like how should I say it? It came to me. And then other things in my life have been like that, where an invitation has come or I've met certain people and realized, but like to sit here right now and to come up with it, it's not coming.
okay.
So any, yeah, I mean, because it's like that whole body yes, and it's like, I'm doing that. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm doing it. And that's how it kind of works for me. And I wish that I could come up with something right now on the spot, but it's more like, yeah, just contemplating.
Mm-hmm. Like what would a soul goal be? What would it sound like?
Well, what I've been playing with is the next decade. Like, okay, what's the theme of the next decade? And that's a contemplation that I'm working on.
Right. Okay. Beautiful.
I like the next theme. I like that.
I do.
And I wanted to say as well that it's something to be said about making a decision.
Mm.
I noticed that sometimes I wait for things to come to me. And when I just say, well, I am going to do this, it just starts like a whole process, start to put things in motion.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for that. And I can imagine that that works well for you. And also that there are just different types of people. Like, because when I think of decision, that's also sort of incision. It can be like scissors, you know what I mean? That, so it's both and probably both and.
Yes.
No, I was
and.
talking about me. Sorry, this
Yeah.
is about me. I just don't talk for anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I found that just a little, like for me, just to say, you know, yeah, I think I ought to be on Mind Valley, Vishen Lakini. Why not? That was a dream. I hadn't been dreaming those kind of dreams lately. So this is, it's an inquiry. So good point. You know, maybe right there for you, or maybe that's just a throwing it out, putting a stake in the ground for what you stand for. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody else have anything you'd like to share on your soul goal?
So as we're sitting here talking about this, I'm thinking about the fact that I've been wanting for many years now to do a TED Talk.
Mm.
So that is definitely a soul goal of mine. It's also been a goal of mine to meet Vishen and as well. So I'll say that I'll add it to my soul goal of wanting to meet him, to be the introductory vessel for you.
And if I get there first, I'll say, do you know Lena? And if you get there first, you say, do you know Jan? And so, cool. All right. Anybody else? So I'm just going to leave this for you to inquire into. This is your fortune and your cookie, a plan you've been working on for a long time. It's beginning to take shape. So these are some of my soul tribe. These might even see somebody familiar. Let's see, way back here is Martina. Here's Marima. Anybody else here today? No, I don't think so. That's me. And this was the last retreat that I did in Santa Fe, a live retreat, and that was in 2019. So I hope to, I don't know if I'll ever do live retreats again, but that was a breakthrough because I had not ever done a retreat leading it by myself. I always co-led it with Alan, my husband and partner. So this group of ladies that you're seeing, and gentlemen, Carrie, have been very, very supportive to me along the way. And I think that's what our soul tribe is for, is we call in the right people that are going to cheer you on. And when you think you can't go anymore, you get cheered on a little bit more. So I wanted to just share with you about your soul goals for a minute, that I've giving you an opportunity today to schedule a VIP visibility session. And you can talk about your soul goal. We can visualize together. We can talk about what is perfect for you as a step in the right direction for your soul goal. And I'm giving you free access to your strategic attraction planning. So we started on that today. And normally I charge $497 for a visibility session. But for you guys, it's free. So Mark's going to put in the chat the link. You can sign up for it. And I just wanted to tell you that I'm really doing this for selfish reasons that I want to, you know, have in the past, at the last B camp, I offered a program and the 28 days, and that's been a great fun. We're going to have our last session next week. And I'm going to offer the Sacred Synchronicity series again in the fall. But this summer, I'm going to do private consultations. So I wanted to just throw that out. If you're interested in meeting with me one-on-one, can you find the link? If you can't, he's looking, it's like, if you can, I can find it. But anyway, you just sign up. It's completely free. It's no obligation. It's for 1 hour. And we'll meet and we'll just share about your soul goal. And, you know, I'm really learning from each person that I speak to. And so you contribute to me, I contribute to you. So it's not a big high pitch sales call, you know, trying to move you into my $5 million program. But if you want that, let me know. But anyway, just click on this. You got to do it today, because I want, in the spirit of taking fast action. If you wait till tomorrow, you're going to be thinking about it. I will send an email out with the link. Don't worry if you just can't push the button. That's okay. And it's late for some of you, so you might want to get some sleep. But anyway, this is your visibility session, and I hope that everybody will take advantage of it. So, well, we're going to wrap up a little bit early. I hope you don't mind. And I just want to say thank you. I hope that you enjoyed your Sacred Synchronicity experience and that it brought some value. Maybe you found time or space. I'd also love to hear back from you later on. Look at you, you're all signing up. You're so cool. Anyway, I would love to hear from you how it was, you know, if you got value or if you see a way that I can make it improved. I always love to hear back on that. Mark?
Would you mind if we each take 30 seconds to just share something that we took from value from tonight and an attractive action we're taking?
Please, absolutely.
I'll lead the way then by example. My biggest takeaway is really just again a greater clarity around the big thing that is coming and the next steps for stepping into that new visibility. I am going to take on more responsibility in the Facebook group for JV Directory.
Oh, okay. Soul goal happening. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Martina?
I just want to share that I've been using this our stuff for ever. And when I let go of, we were talking about our past identities, and you know I was going through transition in that. When I let go of that, it opened the door that I had a client call me out of the blue and she wanted to sign up. And then a week later, I had another person who knew me from before, like a year ago, and she called me up out of the blue and she wanted to sign up. And all because I wrote it down, who I wanted. And they knew me from before, but it was when I let go of all of my old story, let that go, and just allowed that synchronicity to come in. And if you're thinking about doing this, please, it's amazing. And how fast it manifests. I mean, I was like, what, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, the strategic attraction plan is all, you know, it's a gift for everybody here. So it's online, it's a 5-step process, and there's a video for each step. It's not in depth and only 2-minute videos, so it doesn't take you a lot of time. So
Anna's not here, but she was asking about that earlier, so I'm glad that you explained that, and that'll be in the portal.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I can just say thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
thank
It's so
you.
great with the space that you open up for all of us and introducing us to each other. And for me anyway, in the relationship channel, just responding to insights and moving the energy in this creative, open-hearted, open-minded space is a huge value. So thank you.
Yes. Oh, Kim says,
Yeah.
how do we access, when you sign up for the VIP, you get the link to it's a Kajabi program, and so you'll get directed there.
Yes,
I love the, oops.
No, no, go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry, I just want to, I got to interrupt you, but I would say thank you, Sana. Thank you for being here and for what you just shared. Chu, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I thank you for reminding us that, you know, that we all called each other in here. So I appreciate all of you who show up and be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I love your questions, because, you know, when you put questions out there that invites a deeper inquiry, it's like, you know, it gets to that really juicy, delicious place where it's like, wow. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, I wanted to also thank you. I think this was very valuable. I had 3 pages of notes, so I take a lot of notes. So then I will go back and probably get more breakthroughs. And but the main thing that I got is that I have an action that I want to take, that is just to produce a masterclass on consciousness tools for oil and gas sustainability warriors. And that has been calling me, like your sacred synchronicity has been calling me, and I just had to do it, and I'm going to do it.
Okay, cool.
No more bully in my head. Bye bye
More
bully.
bullies. Out of here, bully. Cool, cool. All right.
I would just like to say that I'd like to hold that vision with you, Jan, about being with Vishen Lakhiani on the Mind Valley stage, and the commonality I see is his bending reality, and I've been through that program, and somewhat overlaps with parts of what you're saying, and I think enhances other parts. And I think it'd be really good if some people could introduce you, and I think you just have to put that out there.
Yeah, I just started today, so
It's out there.
it's out there.
It's already out there now.
Mark, get busy. Mark knows everybody, so I'm open for an introduction. Calling in an introduction. Yeah. Okay.
Or more, or something better. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joy. Karen, go ahead.
My
And then-
takeaway today is that the generalized terms like be more visible. So that it's like a means to an end, and I have trouble putting energy into that. But when I look at something specific, like the people who need to come to this class get the invitation, that was easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the way you framed that. I'm going to borrow that. Yes. That's really good. I appreciate your insight immensely. Yes.
Can
Do we
you-
have
can
a
you say
picture?
that
A
again,
picture.
Karen?
Let me take a picture of this group. Do you want to smile?
Okay.
Rob, do you want to come online just
Let
momentarily?
Kim.
Yeah, let's see if it works.
Yay.
1,
Yay.
2, 3.
There you are.
Okay, I will produce a post for LinkedIn. I check it with you first, Jan. So
Okay.
then we can give some, juicy promotion to this sacred
This-
synchronicity.
Go ahead, Kim. Thank you, Marma.
I just asked Karen if she could repeat what she said because it broke up a little for me.
Okay.
So,
About the visibility.
where you said with the visibility piece, when you looked at it one way,
It was
framing-
like a generality and just calling in visibility, which is kind of a means to an end.
Mm,
And it wasn't interesting. But
Yeah.
to look at something specific, like calling in the people for this program who needed to hear it, that was easy.
yes, I like that. That's
Yeah.
that's a nice kind of reframe of that. Yeah. And while I'm on the line, just thank you, Jan, for holding such a beautiful space. And with your co-pilot there, Mr. Mark Porteous, who
Yes.
always holds a beautiful energy. And yeah, just a beautiful space to, I loved, somebody just said, to go into deeper inquiry. And I think that's real value I find in these spaces is when life is pushing, but when we carve out the time and say, here we are, we're allowed to do the deeper inquiry. What I found is it allowed me to tap into the joy of creation. I have a lot of creative force in me. I love tapping into that spirit of creation. And so this was a really nice way to do it. And I appreciated everybody on the call, all your different energies. And I feel like I got to kind of learn and have things open up as people shared their journeys. And that was really wonderful too.
Hey, can we watch that video as our closing parting thoughts?
Yes.
Mark's gonna link on it. Was there anything else before we do that? Rob,
No,
you look like you're getting ready to say something. And Corey,
Oh,
you
this
wanna
was fun. Thanks.
Good. Okay. Corey, you want to add in?
Yeah, I wanted to say that my biggest takeaway today was that the struggle story was just a story, that I can keep the lessons and let go of the story. That was really precious to me. And also when you talked about calling in your soul tribe and actually writing down the attributes and the characteristics of these people, I never thought to do that before. And when I did it, I actually saw very clearly these women coming towards me, all smiling, which was completely unexpected. So I just think there's magic in the things that you ask us to do, Jan. It's like, I don't know what it is, but it's like there's like this magic dust sprinkled over these suggestions.
The
because
magic of sacred synchronicity. I've been saying there's magic in it. Yeah.
they make things happen.
There it is.
So I just realized that I hadn't given my takeaway.
Thank you
either.
so much.
Okay, Corey, thank you. Go ahead, Lena.
Thank you, Corey. My takeaway was really the whole, well, those of you who know me know that I've been in this process of moving. And even yesterday I was saying, I'm just so ready for it to be over and to finish it up. And the whole thing about the blank slate, take out the rest of the trash, kind of just goes with that. And that was, yes, that was really the thing for me. Yes, you've got a blank slate, make it blank. Don't carry anything with you.
Yes. Cool. All right. Well, this will be a great little tidbit for you to part with. We got a little 2-minute movie. Okay. All right. I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Tibetan medicine and healing has always been crucial to the Buddhist path.
Gotta share the screen.
Creating a medicine
Is it sharing now?
of healing the community.
There you go. Almost. There you go.
Oops.
Oops. Now back.
Sorry about that.
Once more with feeling.
Hold your mouth to the right.
Sacred circle, being some sacred essence within. Originally, they would have used powdered stones, powdered gems, things like lapis, malachite, and so on. Today, they use crushed marble and made into sand. Now, the colors are very important because they symbolize different attributes of the deities. But in this particular one that we have here, it is all about the medicine Buddha and healing. And what they create is a heavenly palace all around it. Most of the monks have been in monasteries since the age of about 7. They would have learnt the actual art of painting a mandala in the first instance, But to actually make sand mandala takes about 5 years to train, because it's a very precise art, tapping the sand out of these copper funnels into these intricate geometric designs. The prayers that the monks perform are to do with invoking the presence of the medicine Buddha and inviting the healing power to enter the center of the mandala. And then throughout, when they're actually performing, creating the mandala, they are meditating on that same thought. And for those people who are watching, every grain of sand will give one a blessing. This form of Buddhism is about developing your mind's potential, a way of transforming the mind. So the person who is using this in meditation would imagine themselves as the medicine Buddha in the center, and they would try and break down the barriers of their normal deluded life into pure enlightened mind of Buddha. A very important Buddhist belief is the impermanence. They don't believe that death is the end. It's just a passing phase. It's our essence that carries on, but also that you shouldn't be attached to anything. So the idea of the destruction of the sand mandala is really putting it to bed, if you like. We return to the elements, so too is the sand mandala return to the elements.
So that is what we're creating here, is once we've gone to the
Vegan.
oops, once we've gone through the elaborate process of building our mandala, then we just wipe it, not wipe it, but they very systematically, just let it go. And that's what I'm going to invite you today. Just let go, surrender to the magic of sacred synchronicity. You don't have to know how it's going to turn out. You don't have to have, a big sign billboard on the side of the highway that says go here now. Just let it go, surrender, and let it happen, and just enjoy the magic of sacred synchronicity, because it's going to start to flow, and you will enjoy it. And just be awake and aware and alert, and noticing the little ones and the bigger ones, and just that's the best way to enjoy it. So with that, we say namaste and thank you for being here. And we're going to do a group hug. And so if everybody just hold their arms out and connect each other's arms. Try to connect to the person next to you. See the arms all connecting. We're doing a big circle hug and just squeeze in. Ooh. All right. Love you guys. Thank you. See you next time.
See you.
All right. Much love.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Jen.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so
Much
much,
love.
everyone.
To
Thanks for
everybody.
being here.
Be well.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.